England and Argentina are due to play this weekend in what is sure to be an absolute fire game. But there's a couple of things to take in consideration here, right? First up, England are missing out a lot of players in terms of the Lions squad that are touring Australia right now. They are missing out on players like Alex Mitchell, Finn Smith, Tommy Freeman, Ellis Genge, um, you know, uh, Ollie Chesham, talent on talent on talent on talent that they are missing, right? And then we take in consideration Argentina, who actually just came off of a win of the Lions just this past week. So, how things are going to play out, I don't know, right? But before we continue, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And I just want to be providing you guys with the best content possible. So, let's break it down. Let's see how things play out. But most of all, I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to know what your score predictions are. And how do you think this game is going to be won? So, first up, in terms of head to head, Argentina have actually met England quite a few times. And yes, England have had the better of opportunities and have have the better record up against Argentina. But what I do have to say is this is not an Argentina of a couple of years ago. This is an Argentina that is putting a lot of pressure on a lot of the big name teams. They are putting out stellar performances up against strong squads, and they are coming up with wins up against elite level squads, such as South Africa, which they did in 2014. 2024. But then they also just came off of a very solid win up against the Lions in their first, test, in their first game prior to them going to Australia. So they obviously have a lot of talent. I mean, when you're talking about players like Albernoth, Cordero, they are elite level players. And we look at a lot of their forwards to their backs, they are just constantly graduating. The rugby is getting better, it's getting more fluent, it's getting more deadly, and it's getting more physical. Um, they are doing a lot to improve their nation, their rugby, and it's showing, right? They are gradually taking on a lot better squads and coming through with very solid wins. Even if they do lose, we do know what kind of performances they are going to be putting in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game pans out because England, they just recently played up against France and ultimately they ended up losing. But for a good majority of the game, from the second part of the first half up until around the 60th minute, they were actually pretty solid. Um, but ultimately, they ran themselves short. France came back late second half, put I think it was like 3 tries in the last 10 minutes, which cost England the game. They were unable to handle that pressure, that physicality, and we do know that Argentina is going to bring that physicality. They're going to bring that jackling dominance, and they are going to fight tooth and nail for every single decision. So, can England survive an Argentina onslaught, especially later on in the game? I don't know. England still have a lot of depth in talent for a lot of players that were not able to go to the British and Irish Lions tour. But is it enough to beat an Argentina side that is coming through with full momentum? I don't know. England are also going to be out with a player of Emmanuel Fayou after his ridiculously stupid tackle up against France, and I forget this guy's name, who he ended up tackling, but it was a completely ridiculous high tackle, and he deservedly got his red card, and he has now been suspended for I think it's 2 tests. I think it should have been 3 games, but they've reduced it down to 2 games plus it's 2 games plus a tackling course or something like this, which he has obviously accepted to, and he's obviously going to get done. But this affects England quite a lot. He is one of those electric players that are able to change a game on its head in a moment's notice, and especially after him coming back from injury, he was actually having a pretty solid game prior to that silly incident. But otherwise, England are not without quality. It would just be nice to see Faye Bosa playing again and consistently, right? So otherwise, there aren't too many major injuries for England that I can say right now. Obviously, they're missing a lot of players, but England are going to have to work extremely, extremely hard for this because otherwise, they just aren't going to be able to get anything out of a very, very resilient Argentina side. So, I mean, Argentina, they have the form, the momentum, they're still holding on to the Lions' head after that win. Um, and especially with Argentina, they love to build on that forward dominance. They love to try and control tempo as much as possible, and then sustain carries. And, when you're having players like Brex, who would just happily destroy through your defensive line, it's hard to control, right? It's very, very hard to control. But with Steve Borthwick, we do know he's going to be introducing a lot of fresh talent, a lot of good players in um, who played well in the Gallagher Premiership, but just did not have the eye of, your Andy Farrell. But this also sets them up for the later internationals, where a lot of these players are going to want to be getting into Steve Borthwick's best regards, and they want to get on, they want to put themselves in that window, because when these Lions come back, they're going to have to refight for that position all over again. So they better put in the best show that they possibly can. Now, honestly, I don't know who to go with here. I don't know whether to back England or whether to back Argentina, because Argentina coming in with so much, and they are such a physically dominant side, where you give England an inch, they will take a mile. They will happily put you to the sword, but can they compete over 80 minutes with that forward dominance? I don't know. I really don't know. So I am going to be withholding. I'm not even going to withhold my prediction. I am going to give England to dominate for around 50 minutes of the game, and then Argentina to kick into second gear, third gear, fourth gear, bring on substitutes around the 50th minute, come through with another win like they did France. So let me know what your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.